Okay, we're going to look at surface editing commands first of all. So what I've got here is just a box that's 100 by 100 by 100. So we know what size we need to do things. First of all, let's look at extrude faces. Now, some of these are obvious, some of them aren't so obvious. It's just good to know that they're there and that they're useful. If you know about it, then you can go looking for them when you need them. So extrude faces, first of all. We choose a face, press enter. We can go along a path or we can give a height. So let's say 25. We have the option of putting in a taper. Let's put in a 10-degree taper and it extrudes the face out like so. So that's useful if you've got a couple of parts that don't quite meet and you just want to extrude a face out to fill in a gap. That's a very useful one. Next one, taper faces. Not quite so obvious or where you would use this, but let's say we take this back face here, press enter, specify the base point. Now we're going to specify an axis along which it's tapering. So I'm going to go up the vertical face and let's go minus 10 degrees, and it throws it out. The axis was the vertical line that I gave the endpoints of. So that's the second one. Move faces. Now a good way to illustrate this is if we put a cylinder in here, and I'll just take that away and make a hole. So we'll use the Boolean operator, subtract from our original object, we'll subtract our cylinder, so we've got a nice hole in the middle of it. Now I'll just draw a construction line across the top here so I've got something to use as a reference point, and what I'm going to do is we'll go to move faces. We'll choose that face and enter and pick it up on its center, and let's come to a midpoint here, and it's actually moved the whole cylinder, or the subtraction of the cylinder. So that's a really neat one, just where you'd use it. Again, it's a matter of knowing that it's there, and at some point you might think, oh yeah, that's just what I need. So that's move faces. Next one, copy faces. Again, this is a bit obscure. Copy faces, we could take the inner surface of that cylinder, enter, let's pick it up, and we could actually go and put it out there, and we've created a surface. We've actually just copied that face. Offset faces. Now this one can be quite useful if your cylinder is not quite the right size. We'll just keep with the cylinder on this one. So we've selected that face, enter, offset distance. So let's go say minus 10, and it's actually expanded the cylinder. Next one, delete faces. Now a good way to illustrate this is I'll actually do a fillet on the corner of this object. So we'll select the side or the edge of this original object. Let's put in a radius of say 15, and same edge, so we've got a nice fillet on there. Now often if you've got a fillet or a chamfer or something that's been cut off on an object and you realize that it's wrong and you want to put some material back on, that can be a real problem. So this command is very good for that purpose. If we want to delete a face, we can actually select that fillet, enter, and it takes it away. So that's very handy, that one. Often get yourself out of trouble. Rotate faces. This is a bit similar to the taper face. So let's take the face once again, and we're going to specify an axis, and we'll specify the axis. Let's give it a rotation angle of 10 degrees once again, and it's actually swung it out. That's pretty interesting what it did there. Why it chopped the corner off there. It's picked up on the tapered face and carried it right through. Yeah, interesting variation there. Okay, last one, which is fairly straightforward, colour faces. So you might want to highlight one of the faces, press enter, give it a different colour. Okay, just to make your model stand out a bit. Yeah.